Wow. Mom. Welcome back to the shop, y'all. First of all, let me say I'm sorry about last week, the video getting out late. I think we got it out finally on Friday afternoon. Started to download on it on Sunday, and I think it finally actually downloaded by Wednesday, and I was able Tuesday night to edit it, and then it took all night for it to do whatever YouTube does with that. Not saying that our internet's antiquated out here, but I called the carrier and found out what happened. Seems one of the pigeons got shot on his trip into town to drop off the download. That's a joke. The past week in the shop was kind of odd. Let's run over what happened with that. First of all, I'm going to be at a conference started yesterday and will be there all this week, so I'll be wore out and tired all this week. Not sure how much we're going to get done at the shop. It's a pretty long conference. But last week, we did quite a few things. Worked on Jay's table initially at the beginning part of the week. Got a little bit done, and we'll talk about that. We got a brand new sander here at the shop, but we'll show you that in just a second. We fixed the woof sign, You Had Me at Woof sign. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. And then we did some Mother's Day signs and shelves a couple weeks ago. Kind of looks like this right here. And they're all done, and we're gearing up for Mother's Day. We did do that cedar tray. Remember the one I held up and I said I don't think that one's going to last when we take it to show? We finished it up except for the handles. We actually put the finish on it. It looks pretty good. And then we went through that big cedar pile. Michael, you know the cedar pile where you cut all that cedar up, and we had it sitting out there. I think you posted it on Craigslist, and we got 1 or 2 calls, but people wanted us to deliver it to North Carolina for free and then sell it to them for 10 cents a board foot. We went through that. We got a couple of boards out, and we made cut them down and made some trays. I'm going to make some tables, and they're kind of sitting here behind me, what we're going to make the tables out of. And I'll show you those in just a little bit. Today we wound up working on, over at Daniel's house, working on the water line. He had a little bit of a water problem over there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's go back and talk about Jay's table that we worked on. He finally sanded it, got it all sanded down and smooth, got it the way he wants it to look. After he left, I added the actual supports that are going to hold it to the top of the trunk that he's putting it on. So I think really all we got to do is actually apply the finish to it and then strap it down to the trunk, and he'll be ready to take it. Maybe this Saturday coming up, maybe able to take it down and drop it off at his in Kansas. Let's take a look at our new sander that we got. This is a pretty neat thing. It's not as loud and as hard on the hands as the previous sander. We had to get a new one because the little thing that locks down here and holds the sandpaper on the bottom on the old one broke. We're going to save that sander to hook on the bottom of a table, maybe make it for like a vibrating tabletop. But this thing here is pretty smooth. It's really, really quiet. Doesn't have the noise that the other one had. It's got the little bag to catch the dust on. It's been working really, really well. Jay's table, he worked on it for a little bit, and it came out really, really well. And then the next thing we did was we fixed that You Had Me at Woof sign. The You Had Me at Woof sign, if you remember, we had it kind of wrong. We had it You Had Me and it looked like meat woof. Well, we fixed that up so that looks a whole lot better there and makes a little more sense. Thanks to Michaela for picking that out and noticing that. Next thing we did was the cedar trays and everything. Oh, while we're talking about finishing up on that, Mama did a finish on this. If you remember this product, this is the This is the towel rack. Mama took the towel rack holder off and refinish that board, so you see it's much better looking little project there. But we did go through that stack of wood out there, that cedar that we had, and we did a couple of cedar trays that we want to do. The reason we want to do that is because this is that cedar tray I told you about, and this is the finish Mama put on it. Looks really, really good. We got to put the handles on there, and we're going to make a bunch more of those. So that looks pretty good once we get the handles on there. I really don't think that one's going to last. But anyhow, we went through that cedar pile. We've cut up a bunch more little boards that we're going to take and we're going to edge join together, and we're going to take and put and make cedar trays out of. And they're going to open up kind of bookmatched, I think, about like that. Of course, you know, we have to cut these edges down here, and then we're going to have to join them, put them together, and put some biscuit joints in there. But that's going to be a good looking tray. while we're out there and we're looking at that, we still both want to build a live edge table. And I think I told you the one that we had planned, we've kind of nixed because the lady never got back in touch with us. But we're going to build our own. And if you can see these right here, we've got these two boards here that we're going to edge join together. We're going to epoxy that crack fold. Then we're going to take this board here, edge joint that, and we're going to edge joint this board. We're going to make two tables out of that. So I think those will come out looking really, really nice. And I think on Friday, is it Friday? We're going over to Daniel's. Fridays, we're going to go over to Daniel's, try to finish fixing up the water line. Some of the projects we got coming up are going to be pretty interesting. I want to run through these little shelves and stuff that Mama made for Mother's Day here a while back, just to kind of show you what they look like. And these are supposed to be just really kind of inexpensive, simple things so a child can afford to pick it up for a couple of bucks for Mom, and then have Mom a gift for Mother's Day that they were able to buy themselves. So some kind of neat little things. And then these, I think Mom was only wanting like $1 or $2 a piece for these, but they're little hearts. And what we'll do is I think you put a little candle in there, and it'll sit like this, and then a little candle will go in there, and that'll be so a child can buy that for their mother for Mother's Day. Okay, so let's get back to what's coming up in the shop here. That's good tea. Just made it this afternoon just before we started filming here. Okay, so coming up in the shop this week, the shelves in the shed. We talked a little bit about that last week. The old game shed, Jay's old art shed studio, we're going to make a sewing shed out of, and it's going to be a little bit of storage. Mom's going to do some of her painting there so she can paint and not have to worry about being in here with all the dust or having to put up, like this afternoon it rained, so now she can't paint. So we're going to put a little bit of a paint studio in there for her as well. But I want to put some shelves up across the back wall. I showed you a picture of it on that last video. If you don't remember, you can zip back and look at the video again. But there's we're going to put some shelves up in the back there so we can store stuff out of this big shed that Michael and I just built, and that'll give us some room to put some of our finished projects in there, and more importantly, some of this stuff that we have to make stuff out of that we don't remember we have is just kind of packed in there, so we're going to get it out so we can take a look at it. So that'll be neat. So the shelves in the shed's coming up. I'm going to try to finish up on the mill locker. Was going to do that this afternoon, but me and Daniel got working on the water line. So I'm going to try to finish up on that mill locker. Jay's table, still working up on it. Like I said, I think it's going to go this week. Not much to be done, just to finish on it and actually attach it to the top of the trunk. If you all remember a while back, I showed you a headboard and a footboard from like a single bed, where we had cut the footboard and we were going to join it to the sides of the headboard. We're going to make a bench. We're going to work on that maybe this week, maybe this weekend, try to do something on it, maybe not finish it up, but try to get at least started on it really good. Kimmy's table. There's been a change on Kimmy's table. The skirt that I milled up on there, I just didn't like the way it looked on that table. I felt like the table was too small and too dainty for those when I mocked it up. Just didn't look good. And I'm going to put Mom on the spot, and I'm going to have her run over and try to get some of the legs that we're going to use, and she may have to get that thing out of the kitchen where she can reach the legs. I don't know. Now it looks like she got it. She's taller than I thought she was. But this is really, really nice. This is some, I don't know what you call them, balusters, metal balusters for a stairwell. I don't know. Anyhow, got it at an auction for next to nothing. For gates or something. But anyhow, it's pretty. And this is, I think, what we're going to make Kimmy's legs to her table out of. Of course, it's going to be too long, so I'm going to have to cut off the bottom part of it. And I'm going to TIG weld these together, and I think make a bottom shelf on it. But the skirt and everything and the legs I was planning on just really didn't look like right. It made it look too heavy. It's not going to look right for the environment that it's going to be in. So Kimmy's tables went through a complete rework on there. The next thing that we're going to be working on here in the shop is Mama's mermaid. Now, I've told y'all about this mermaid before. I think I've held her up and showed you, and I told you what our basic idea was. Well, look what Mama kind of come up with on this. It's pretty interesting. Now, this is an old tabletop right here. And if you look at it good enough, you see a porthole with the mermaid. And I think she's actually going to go behind it, so it looks like you're looking out the porthole window. And lo and behold, there's a mermaid out there. So that ought to be pretty interesting. That's going to be a really, really neat project. I'm going to try to film part of that for you, but mostly it'll be pictures. Maybe put it together as a slideshow and add it to one of these videos so y'all can see it. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, to make a standalone video, but it looks pretty good. So coming up tonight, we're going to try to get into Taco Bell and download this to YouTube and try to get that done. So we're going to be making a big trip to the big city. Beyond that, we're looking at getting a stencil cutter, vinyl cutter. Some folks know them as a Cricut. There's a company that makes Silhouette. But the one we're looking at is from the company Brother. And I think my camera's fixing to shake because Maggie is scratching underneath it. We'll see what happens. Again, it's a 2 dogs video. What would happen if a dog wasn't in there somewhere? But this vinyl cutter thing is a pretty neat thing. Let me get some more tea here. It cuts vinyl, it cuts leather, it cuts material. You can make cards, you can make stencils, you can make those little sticky things that make stick figures that hang on the back of people's minivans. It does a lot of stuff, but we're looking at getting the Brother cut and stamp or cut and something. I don't know what it's called, but anyhow, I'm going to put a link down in the description down there somewhere. I don't know, maybe where's description's down there. So y'all look down in their description, there's a link to it. So we're looking forward to doing that. So we got Daniel's Waterline we'll be doing on Friday. Mother's Day is coming up. Don't forget Mother's Day. I was supposed to look it up before I got on here. I think it's like the 16th of May. No, that's Daniel's birthday. Anyhow, Mother's Day is coming up.
15th
don't well, I don't know. 15th is Daniel's birthday. I don't know. Anyhow, we'll talk. Me and Daniel will talk about that on Friday, and he can square me away when his birthday is. So anyway, Mother's Day is coming up, and don't forget, the greatest of all holidays comes a month after that. It's Father's Day. Y'all be thinking ahead. Get your Father's Day tree out and your Father's Day tree decorations. We'll be looking forward to that. Got a good list started already for y'all for Mother's Day with this Brother stenciler thing coming up. You can always Amazon and look at the vinyl and things like that. That's a good idea. So that'd be nice for Mama, so that'd get her some stuff in there that she can play with. Be easy for y'all to do and to look at. So I'll put the links to the stencil thing in the bottom. I don't think I have many as far as pictures to shoot at y'all today. Maybe a couple, but I can't really think of anything. I think we went through everything. So I think that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and we're going to head to Taco Bell here in a few minutes. We're going to try to download this video. I'm going to try to edit it and get it maybe posted so y'all can have it on Monday morning. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But we'd like to say thank you for watching the video, and we'd love to see you back in the shop. Y'all have a good evening.